One background, there's one here. So, okay. We're talking about levels of involvement. And we've been kind of, I really believe questions come up, they need to be, and we're asking the questions. Isn't that where you, or whatever, but if it's remotely, related to the topic, to religion, that's when you want to get it. And so if there's questions here too, I think that's, is how do you know? And we need to cover that. And for that, I looked at this book by Kurt Kuck. He's a German Lutheran. This book was written somewhere. He died in 1987. It's on the Bible. He says, look to Mark chapter 5. And he uses this particular case as Mark chapter 5. We're leading this tour to the Holy Land, like right now, a year from now. And he said that I kind of instigated that. Well, reasons. One, I think it'd be great for him, because that's like a year in seminary, it really is. But the second is, it's great for the people in the congregation who have gone. And it really changes your whole Bible study thing, it really does. And to go with a group, the church is super, because we've had people go that would probably never go on their own. If you go with some people you know, with a group, there's security in that, going to a foreign place or something like that. And so anyway, I've encouraged him to do that, so I would encourage you to look into that. There's I think information session, I think a week from Wednesday, I think. And I encourage those of you who have gone before too, to years ago. And it's very, very similar to this trip, so you can kind of get an idea how it goes day by day and such. But I thought of that because one of the places you will go is on the Sea of Galilee. And to me, that is really special, because there's a lot of places, like you go to the birthplace of Jesus, and what do you see? A manger, a stable, a big old church. And there's gift shops outside, of course, Andy, of course. Crucified and buried, what do you see? A big old ugly church. And I say ugly because it's 1,000 years old. I mean, we'd be kind of ugly after 1,000 years too, wouldn't we? I mean, and boy, is it gaudy inside. And there's all kinds of gift shops. Oh, yeah.
Streets that Jesus probably walked. Right.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
The first time I was there, they had not excavated that, but that was the Pontius Pilate, the original pavement pushing. So this time I'm not. And so if you've been before, come and see the things. No. But we also learn stuff over there. For instance, like we saw a pig farm, and Muslims aren't either. So how in the world?
Raise them on the land.
Yeah.
On
the land. Yeah. So what do? They put slats there, so they're not actually out of the boat. A man with an evil spirit. You don't normally have that advantage now, but the Bible says he has an evil spirit. Verse 3: the man lived in the tombs, and no one could bind him anymore. He's apart, and broke the irons out of his cruel powers. Among the tombs and the hills, he would cry out and cut himself with stones. Fits of rage we see, not continuous, but fits of rage. Tear this. When he saw Jesus from a distance, he ran and fell on his knees in front of him. He shouted at him at the top of his voice, "What do you want with me, Jesus? What do you want with me?" Okay, and verse 7 also, from people that are possessed, it's a spiritual. And here was Jesus himself. Verse 7 also uses the word clairvoyance. He knew who Jesus was, right? I mean, Jesus spent 3 years trying to get his disciples to figure out just who he was. He knew who he was. Yeah. And so they could sense things that are going on. Verse 9, Jesus says, what alteration of voice, variation or something like that. And not to send them out of the area. And verses 10 and 12, this large herd of pigs I mentioned before there, for feeding the nearby hillside. The demons begged the herd. That's what it says, the herd. Yeah, I don't know. Ask that one when you get to heaven. I guess they weren't. Yeah. I have no idea. No, I don't. Yeah, Bill? And a herd of pigs. And and this is the area, it's called the area of the Decapolis, which is north and east of Israel, where a lot of the Gentiles, it was Gentile territory. The epilogue here in verses 15 to 20, as Dan said, let's see, that's verse 8. And some people will be missionaries, and some people will be good, honest Christian lay people.
They can do a better job there.
Yeah. There's need for all those. He needed people to go where they were until, I think, that the Decapolis. And that's called the 10, the 10 cities, the 10 Gentile cities. This was, so anyway, and there's many others, and we could look at all these in the Bible. Cook suggests that 2, 3, and 4 language.